Hello and welcome to Aquarium Dilemmas. I'm your host, Carrie, Science Gal Aquatics, and this is my co-host.
And Jesse, here I am, back again.
Yes, it's been a while. Sorry for the long delay, but we are back. We're excited to be back. So thank you for being here and dealing with the long delay.
Back for round 2.
Yes, it was unfortunate and definitely unplanned and pretty much all my fault. But Jesse was here to support me and constantly remind me, let's do an episode. Let's do an episode. And finally, I was like, you know what? It's time.
It has been a long time. It really has. But we've done a bunch, of little things.
Yeah. And a lot of talking about a lot of stuff. So we're here. We're going to do it together. And even though we will definitely tell you it's been a little bit more of the down instead of the ups lately. So hopefully together we can build our fish room back up together.
It has been, but
we always tell you there's ups and downs. And I will say the last 2 years on me has been more challenging. I think because I have been in it longer, I don't know. It's been a mixture of like depression and burnout and all kinds of stuff. But I stuck with the hobby. The hobby itself was not the cause. It was just, I think I took on too much stuff and I let too many people's opinions kind of weigh on my mind. But we're going to deal with ring rust and kind of learn how to do this together again. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I took a break. I don't know if you know, but I did work for Aquashella and I took a break. And luckily I am back and I'm really excited. But I was around a lot of really cool people and a lot of people gave me some really awesome advice. And I was trying to do everything everybody said. And you can't do that. And I just think I was trying too hard for too long.
Well, there's only one of you. And to do everything that you do every day besides all the other household stuff, because I still obviously have a full-time job. I have to go to work, and I go to work a long way away. So my days are 12 to 16-hour days. So I am not able to help you as much as I
Yeah.
could.
And that's not even, I wasn't even talking about the personal life. Like if our poor little kiddo has a heart defect and our little doggy has a heart disease and then you work all the time and we've been doing homeschool. And so if you take all the personal stuff and add it to all the creative stuff dealing with the fish room, it is a lot. And I think I just needed to take a break and enjoy the hobby for, I guess, just even remember why I enjoyed it, because it was so much pressure that I put on myself trying to be like, okay, I need to do a video this way and I need to try to keep this fish this way. And I was putting so much pressure on numbers that I never really had an emphasis before, because I was kind of tired of people. I mean, I don't think they did it intentionally, but if I had one more person come up to me and say, oh, I thought you had more subscribers or followers, and walk away mid-conversation. And I was trying to be like, but comparing yourself, and I am still lucky. Like I said, I'm back with Aquashella, and I really take pride in that position of talking with all the creators. But sometimes I have to take a step back and be like, you know what? I don't have the most entertaining videos, and we might not have the most overwhelming conversation that changes every fish keeper's mind, but at the same time, this is my journey. This is how I share it, and I might not ever have 100,000 million subscribers, but I'm okay with what I have. And it's a smaller channel. It's a smaller podcast, but I like it and I missed it. And I'm glad you nagged me all the time to come back. And now we're back, and just trying to share why we did take a break and be honest with you. I don't want to feel like I'm complaining, but
Well, I don't think
I
you're.
really beat myself up. And instead of coming down to the fish room and like, oh my gosh, like I get to do water changes. And I was excited to do like the small little piddly stuff. But instead I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this by this time. I need to put out 3 videos by this date. And like I said, I appreciated all the advice, but sometimes it's hard to do what I was trying to do on the schedule I was trying to do it. And then, like you said, we're trying to manage homeschool and doctor's appointments and 30 some odd fish tanks. And
I believe to some point everybody goes through that, whether you have one fish tank or you have multiple, whatever, 5, 6, 30, doesn't matter.
You're gonna have
doesn't matter.
some kind of frustration.
Either it comes through water changes, a tank crashing. Obviously, from the creative side of it, between trying to do YouTube, do the house stuff, make videos, then you feel pressured. Like you said, you have to be on this timeline. I got to make this tank look right. I got to be clean. I got to do this. I think this podcast is more of, hey, we're just like you. It's everyday dilemmas of whether, okay, is this the one tank I'm going to work on today? Or is it okay? Can I do something else? Or I got some other stuff. Is it okay?
Yeah.
And you have to feel good about it personally. Yeah. And I think you're back there now more than you were. But at that time, you were just stressed.
Yeah. And it took some time because I started to have those feelings creep in of like I said, I don't own a fish store. I don't know how to take care of some fish. Some fish I've never even heard of until I have I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I don't have an intense library. I can't just whip out all, like I have the fish that I've kept, and I can't compare myself to some of these people that I've been around, will be around in the future, and even other colleagues that we know are friends with on YouTube. I'm so thankful that I get to learn from them. But I was starting to compare myself of what value I had to share with people. I was like, well, what do I have? They can just listen to ABC channel.
I know what we have. And I know what I have anyway. I have a laundry list of mistakes. Yeah. That's what I have. I have a lot. I can give you a don't do list that would stack to the heavens.
So, yeah, that's, I don't know how to explain it any other way. And I've spent at this point, 2 years trying to think about how I wanted to share whatever I was going through with you. And like you said, I just now kind of back to being like, this is what I have. And I started this journey of sharing my fish tanks and what I've kept because I wanted to share and kind of learn together. I don't by any means ever claim I knew it all, but I was trying to compare myself to people that have a different background than I do, but I can't discount the background that I have because, like you said, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been fish keeping since I was a little bitty kid, and let me tell you, I have gone through all kinds of different, and this was the phase I was in, and then we've got hit by a tornado during the process of all this, and the fish room really took a hard hit. So on top of all the feelings of comparing and burnout, then the fish room itself wasn't doing so good at certain phases, and then that added onto it. So it was just a lot. And to come down here and be like, oh, I'm so happy to share this. At this point, I didn't really have that much good news to share. We went to a few conventions and shows, and I'm sure we'll share them along the way, if not here sooner than later. And that kind of helped keep.
Well, I mean, we did several little different things. Like honestly, I personally have never, maybe Carrie has in the past as being a kid, I've never adopted any sort of fish from someone. Adopted, he means we met someone off
I don't even remember. Was it Facebook, and met him in a gas station parking lot? Like we are rescued / adopted. They came from a good place. He was taking good care of them. But we've definitely done things, and we'll probably list them off through what we've, just to kind of help catch you up, so we can in the next episode just go from where we're at. But
yeah, you can follow on all our little mini adventures and journeys, which most of it is still actually
still
in continuation.
Yeah.
We can talk about the entire process. We can talk about what we've tried, what's going on, and we're still on the journey, and you can continue it with us. We don't know how it's going to end yet.
We don't know. But I guess kind of going back, we've definitely done stuff that has kept me still loving the hobby, even though I wasn't necessarily actively sharing it. And we were still going down kind of the down in the ups and downs, and trying new things, getting new fish and traveling. And it still kept the spark, but I think we just had to step away for a while just to remind myself, like, oh, this is why, again, I wanted to share this. And I'd catch myself in moments, be like, oh my gosh, I want to talk about this. This is so cool. So, and we just got to the point where I just needed, even though I could think about it all day long of what we wanted to say and how we wanted to say it, just coming down here and pushing record and just winging it, ripping the Band-Aid off and going from there.
Well, anybody that has ever listened to me on any other podcast, any other live stream, any video will know I will wing. But I say, I wing it right off of my cuff, because that is what I think. That is what I believe in. Now, whether it is 100% right, I am not going to say it is, because again, my mistakes, the laundry list is long.
So, yeah, leave us a comment, a review. Let us know if the sounds bad. We'll try again in the next episode, and we'll definitely take this one episode together, one episode at a time together, for sure.
Oh yeah, we got lots of little mini adventures through the 2 years that we took the little hiatus of trying out new fish, trying different things. And yeah, did some of it work? Yes, for a while. And then we realized, well, ultimately we made a mistake in the beginning.
And just to let you know, our episodes might be a little bit shorter than they were in the past, just because our hosting site tripled in price. So I will have to say, during this little time off, I developed a little new hobby on top of all the numerous ones that I have taken on, and I decided to learn how to crochet animals, and they look so cute, and they've gone over really well at our local craft show. So we wanted to share them with you. There's a few of them right now at sciencegalaquatics.com if you're interested in looking at them. And the more plushies we sell, the more we can upgrade our podcasting site and make our episodes longer. But each week I plan to release new ones. Right now I'm starting at the A's. Next week we'll be in the B's. And I think I'm up to 85 patterns. But if you go to sciencegal.com, you can check them out and support the channel that way. Or
checking out the website, just cruise around on it, check out, there's a lot of good stuff on there anyway in general. So I mean, little things that we've done throughout the years.
A little plug for us. But I guess just kind of catching you up, we'll kind of go down. We did redo the fish room. So if you've only listened to the podcast, you haven't watched any of the videos we have on YouTube, we did redo the fish room, and Jesse made me some really cool long shelves that are 2 tanks high. So
but behind me in what would be a video,
you can check out what they look like at the Science Gal Aquatics YouTube channel. We've put what the fish room looks like.
Yeah, there's multiple videos. I think she might even put one about us putting it together.
Yeah, there's numerous ones. But if you're just a podcast listener and just to kind of fully catch you up, we'll go through kind of what's new in the fish room. But really, what's new in the fish room is the fish room's new.
Well, the fish room's relatively new. Everything's been redone. And
It's a lot more spacious for water changes. So
Yeah.
that is a perk. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a future episodes, like what we like about it and what we wish we changed about it. But overall, I'm really happy about it. But we do have these really cool new shelves, and all the big tanks are at the bottom. All the smaller tanks are on the top. I'm pretty short, so I do carry around a step stool now pretty often in the fish room, but they work great for Jesse, so you can tell which one built them.
well, and they're great for viewing.
Yeah,
for
they're-
viewing purposes, even for a regular size person or a shorter
Yeah.
person like yourself, for looking at the tank and viewing the tank, it's perfect.
It does look great.
It's
but
perfect. However, maintenance, you require at least one step.
I do, for sure. But we did venture into discus in the tank kind of right behind Jesse. We started out with 4. They were about, I think, $85 a piece. We're down to 2, but we lost one, and then I think about a month later we lost the other one, and now these 2 are doing great, but they're in a 75-gallon. It's heated. I watch it constantly.
We'll do a whole episode on them. That is an adventure that we tried.
They're still real skittish, but we did venture into discus for the first time. So that's been an adventure. He bought them for my 40th birthday, I believe.
Yes, I bought them for your 40th birthday.
Yeah.
Again, like we mentioned earlier, ventured into adoption/relocation of
Yeah. In the tank behind me, we've got a whole bunch of calico swordtails now. We've had them maybe a year or so. They're in a 55-gallon with some corridoras we got at a fish club auction. But we got these from a friend because I think she was moving. I don't
they
remember.
were moving.
And
It was another relocation deal.
and some loaches.
Yeah, a bunch of
And
coolie loaches that we can never find now.
She cleared out her tank and I was loving it. And then we did get some ick in the fish room, but I don't remember if we did lose one, we might have lost one, but I put them in salt and heat. That's kind of my thing for ick, and got them all healed up. And then we added these corridoras. We got 2 batches from an auction a handful of months ago, and I put them all together, so hopefully they'll breed. I haven't had much luck in the Corridora breeding, but I haven't tried actively either. So the Corridoras here are really hard to get, and when you do get them, they're incredibly expensive. Even these, I think, are just green. They're green. I think they're just green corridors.
Yes, I believe
they're
so.
not anything overly expensive or hard to find.
They're not
for
special.
most, but for us, they were still expensive. I think we paid like, I don't know, $30 a bag for them, and that was at a small auction. So in a fish store, they're pretty pricey here. We've got a I wouldn't say necessarily a community tank, but it's a 55-gallon tank full of different species of tetra, or different variety of tetra. There's some blackline tetra, some black tetra, some carry tetra, some diamond tetra, all kinds of tetra, and I love that tank. But we've had them for a while. The next one, we've got some angelfish and a bisher, and that used to be our goldfish tank, but that was goldfish here recently. My old tank growing up, I had goldfish for like 15 years, and here recently I've been trying my hardest to get this 75-gallon tank to be a goldfish tank, and I have had nothing but bad luck. So now
that will be a whole episode of the ebbs and flows.
Yes,
I don't know. At one point we had
haven't had very good luck.
We had a bunch of goldfish in there, and it was doing really awesome.
It was great. Then the tornado hit, and of all the fish we lost, that goldfish tank, we lost everything. And granted, our local fish store closed like, I don't know, 5 years ago now. It's been a while, and I'm glad we have PetSmart. I feel like it gets a lot of people in the hobby, but the goldfish I've gotten recently from them have not done very well. And I don't know if it's them or me, but I'm pretty confident even when I'm feeling pretty low in my skills. So I just feel like it's honestly some kind of internal thing. I don't know, honestly, but I've just had horrendous luck with goldfish. And my goal was to have a really pretty goldfish tank. So hopefully when I travel this year to the Aquashellas, we did add a 4th show. There's 4 shows this year. So I'm so excited. So if you get to go to one, come up and say hi to me and tell me about goldfish.
Well, just running down the quick list of, I mean, we'll be on some episodes at some point. Well, we jumped into the rainbow game as far as we wanted to just try them, not necessarily breed them. If that happened, great, but just to keep them, understand them, learn more about them, and ultimately that's our goal.
We have a friend that loves rainbows, so every time I hear them talk, I'm like, I must try them. And we got this trio, and luckily we still have the whole trio. It's been over a year, maybe pushing 2 years now since we've got them, and they are really adorable. So hopefully we can add to our rainbow game in the future too, because I'm digging those rainbows.
Well, and ultimately that is the goal. Yeah. The ultimate goal of this podcast is to just learn and share our experiences about, because every normal fish keeper goes through it of like, okay, well, I really like this fish. I know a little bit about it, but I probably don't know enough as I should, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yes. Well, we're here to give you the first part of trying it.
The fine line is knowing that's a fish that I am going to impulse buy and learn all about, and I'm so excited. And there are some fish that I know enough to know that I'm going to appreciate it in that tank. And it's not going to come home with me because we got these pike live bears that I absolutely love. But I think I would have loved them more in someone else's tank.
Yes. Well,
they have been.
Speaking of Miss Impulse,
we've had them twice. The first time didn't end up well. This time they've lasted longer. We did have a trio. The duo ate one. So now there's a duo. I came down and saw the tail in the mouth, so I know for sure that they ate him. And I swore that we had 2 females left.
Whoa.
And now I swear that I have a male and female.
Well, all I know is you are the queen of impulse, because I mean,
you could say I am, and I will embrace it. But you saw that bag and was so equally as excited. You came up with me, but just as bug-eyed, as I did
about the pikes. I'm talking about the one that you thought, okay, this could possibly maybe solve a little problem.
I will come to that, but I'm not done with the pikes. But what makes them so challenging isn't the size or the tank parameters, is they just are really hard to feed. They're really picky eaters, and so far through all my times of keeping them, they only eat live food. And constantly going to PetSmart and buying a $3 fish 6 at a time just to feed isn't
practical.
Hard.
It's not practical.
But it does get a little expensive through time. And I do have little white clouds in the fish room that I've had for years. I've just kind of always kept them. But they're a higher end white cloud, and you don't necessarily want to feed them to another fish. And like I always thought, well, I'll have extra guppies. And sure, there's plenty of times where I do have extra guppies to use, or some that need to be culled out because of crooked spines or whatever, but it's not often enough. Thank goodness. I'm glad I don't have that problem.
See, that means you're doing good on one front.
But at the same time, in my head, in the impulse aisle, giving them, here, take all my money, I'm like, oh, I'll have all this, I can feed them so easily. And that's what makes them so hard. So do I love them? I love how they look. I like how they swim. They're a top surface type fish. They eat like our arowana did, which is another thing we'll get back to. But it's just, I think there's a fine line between impulse buying and upgrading or elevating your skill as a fish keeper and elevating your skill as a fish keeper because you know that fish is better off with someone else. So, yeah.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and continue down the impulse trail that we're on now? I
drug him on his, 20-hour car ride to Pennsylvania to go to the Keystone Clash. And I am really excited to go to Clash. You get to see all your friends. It's one of the few times I get to compete. Luckily, in the aquascaping contest, there is someone
that's a whole nother episode.
I got in
She's
last
delved
minute.
Down that rabbit hole.
It's just amazing how much better my work is when you have like not an endless supply, but you have a table of all the stuff that I can't afford to go buy a pallet of rock and driftwood and all this fancy plants and all that. Well, I was making my rounds because we were selling the plushies and Jesse was doing such a wonderful job selling them that I was like, I'm going to go shopping. So I made my rounds and I fell in love with this humpback dragon puffer, I believe is the technical name. I just call him Puffer, but
he's a dragon puffer.
A humpback dragon puffer. So yeah, I had to have him. And luckily I bought him just right then and they held him because they definitely would have sold him for sure if I didn't do it right then. But we have a lot of little snails in the fish room and the whole goal, I wasn't shopping for a puffer, but I was in the market for a puffer. If I ran across one, I was probably going to buy it, but I wasn't like going out of my way to shop for one, if that made sense. But we had all these snails and I hate getting rid of them, but sometimes you have to because they just take up so much room. So I saw this puffer and I was like, oh my gosh. And I know in the back of my head, not all puffers are snail eaters, but yet at the same time, in the back of my head, like, fair amount are. I'm safe. And I talked to a few people, told them my plan, and they're like, oh, that's what I was like, oh, this is such a good, I'm so excited. So we dropped this dragon puffer back 20 hours, obsessively watched him on the car ride back. We kept him in the original bag, but we had a 5-gallon bucket that we put the bag in so it wouldn't jostle. It was just better off in the bag. And all was well. He's still alive and doing well, but bottom line is, do a little research because he is most definitely a worm-eating puffer.
He is.
He will devour some earthworms and some red wigglers, which is equally adorable. And I have, if you want to see him, he's on my YouTube shorts and my TikTok because he is just the most adorable thing ever. But yeah, he is not. So I'm still in the market for a snail eater. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. But yeah, that was a great plan that I don't know how to say it, executed wrongly, but still great.
Yeah, I mean, the thought was in the right direction.
And I was excited. The smile, you would have thought I think I was more excited than the kiddos on Christmas. I was just so excited. But back to what's happened, we did get some axolotls. We had one in a 40-gallon breeder. and it's a larger one. And like he said, I don't remember if he was a friend of a friend, but someone somehow knew us and contacted us, and we met them at the gas station down the road and adopted these. They're not tiny, but they're still juvenile, small axolotls. And I was so nervous. I didn't know if I should keep them separate or put them together. So I separated them. Right now they're together. They're doing, I wouldn't say they don't get along. There's one little spot in one of their tails that I don't know if he nipped it. They got each other. I'm not sure, but our 55 gallon that's open is running in the 60s right now. So I'm doing some hard thinking about switching them over to the 55 gallon now that we do have 3 of them. And those 2, I don't know, they're not picky because they do eat the worms, but they have to spit them out and take them back in and spit them out and take them back in. So maybe having a little extra room in the 55 gallon over the 40 breeder will be better for them. But Jesse got us this really cool new deep freeze that he drilled through. So we have a makeshift DIY chiller, but it went from like freezing solid to we put like a pump on the end of it, and now it's running well, but it's like 59-60 and we prefer it to be about 64. So I think overall,
well, I've adjusted it now.
Yeah.
It's better now.
But I'm worried
But in
about
the beginning, that was an adjustment game for sure. I did not realize it would do. But if we ever wanted to have more cold water tanks,
yeah,
that I could have
It works
I could have
great.
as many cold water tanks as I want to have. Just I'm gonna have to run a lot more lines, but I have plenty enough room to make. I could make all kinds of cold water tanks.
yeah, because it definitely. I came down here, I was like, that's not right. So it worked so well that all the tube froze.
Yeah, it didn't freeze
And
the actual
so-
tank, but
no,
it froze the
tank was
line
fine, but
going
the line
in and
was
out.
frozen. So then he turned up the deep freeze as, I don't know, a level 5, whatever the notches are, and it's cold. It's like 59-60, but I don't feel like they need to be that cold. So yeah, it works too well. I've never had, usually when we run into a problem is because our work sucked and we're like, gosh dang it. But this one works so well. You did such a good job that we're like, dang, the axolotls might be a little too cold.
Well, I finally overbuilt something, and I overbuilt it to a point that yes, if there's suggestions for other cold
I'm
water tanks,
thinking about-
I got room.
I know you can't see it, so I'll eventually have to, if we do this, I'll share it in more detail. But I have this little 2-door, it's like bathroom cabinet type thing next to the 55 gallon that's about equal in size and height as a deep freeze. And I don't think it's honestly attached to anything. So we can always rip out that cabinet because it's just a catch all for junk. And the deep freeze can go there. So if in the summertime is what I'm worried about, them getting too hot again. But we'll come up with a plan, all of us together on that. But yeah, we definitely adopted some axolotls in a parking lot. We felt safe. He didn't feel unsafe. The axolotls are great. It all worked out. So yeah, we we did that. And then the worst news of all, like, I don't even want to talk about it, but I need to talk about it. We had this silver arowana forever. We raised it from, it was little bitty, like 2-inch silver arowana. And it was, I don't know, 2 feet long, not exaggerating, as like a fisherman would.
It was right at 2 feet long.
Yeah, it was in a 180. We were hard shopping around for a 240 or a 280. Anything we could possibly. It's in a room upstairs that we use as a cat room. So we had the space. It's on a concrete. Used to be the garage. So we were going to do anything and everything for this silver arowana. It was the first fish, honestly, that since me and Jesse been together for almost 11 years. And this was the one that he's watched grow up felt attached to. He really loved feeding. It was fun we didn't want him to jump, but when he would feed, it was a very male, like the neighbor manly men would come over and they would like that fish. His he's a man now and he would like that fish. And it was just like, it would just get the coolest, like, I just loved that silver arowana. And we went to the lake to visit his family. And if you've kept fish long enough, especially large fish, when you open the door to the house and something has passed away, you just know it when you open the door. You can smell it. I opened the door to come home and I just knew. And I was sad, but I was more sad because I feel like Jesse, you took it as well as can be expected, but that was the first one that you were really attached to. So I was sad, but I was more sad that you lost your first fish. That you like, it was awful overall. And we left that tank empty for a while. We neither one of us really even wanted to look at it. We were just kind of over it. I was just like, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to get rid of it, obviously, but I don't even really want to think about what I want to put in it for a while. So, yeah.
And we're assuming, we don't actually know for a fact, but assuming, and this is what I assume. I assume at some point he jumped, and from the way it looked, he jumped, and and I had heavy, thick, full plate glass on top of this tank.
Yeah, and we weighted it down because he was getting to the point, he was so big that he would move the glass and we didn't want him to like jump out.
Yeah, so our thought was that while we were gone, that we would make sure it was weighted down, everything. He was good when we left, fed, everything happy. We weren't going to be gone very long.
Yeah, we were gone a long weekend maybe, but we had our neighbor at the time and my mom coming over to, we have 3 Shiba Inus. Pepe, our little dog, is a long-haired Chihuahua. We had 1 cat at the time. Now we have a hairless cat too. We have a bearded dragon and all the fish tanks here. So we have some animals that need to be taken care of.
Or at least checked on.
Yeah. So they both said that he was fine. He was eating, but sometimes I know I have this big pink puffer coat and fish are attracted to red. So you had to be kind of careful walking around that tank with certain coats on because he would startle. So I don't know if someone walked around that tank. It was in a high traffic area because I figured that was the best point to, not the highest traffic, but it kind of get him used to not being so shy, but enough foot traffic with the kids that, he went and, I don't know, but I assume something startled him, a cat, I don't know, maybe he jumped and hurt himself. I don't know.
Yeah, because, the only thing I could see, he was missing a couple scales, and that was it.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was just not a good time. We were both really sad.
Yeah,
so
thanks for bringing up a sore subject.
Well, we got to, because we're moving past the bad, and we're going to have a good 2026. The joys of fish keeping. It's a very rewarding hobby, but there is some ups and downs, and it's been kind of rough. And like I said, a tornado came through our side yard, destroyed our greenhouse that we had. Jesse had built me this beautiful greenhouse for my vegetables. We just installed the sprayers. It made it like a freaking grocery store with the fancy little sprayers for me. That day. But luckily our outside dogs, they were all okay, but it did some roof damage. It could have been far worse, but it was an F2 tornado came through our side yard, and we were without electricity for a week. And the fish room, I don't know. It's just now I feel like kind of coming around. It took a hard hit, and So I feel like my emotional state's coming back around. I'm feeling like myself is again. Me and Jesse are liking each other again. We loved each other. We love each other now, but we were not seeing eye to eye very well. And I feel like the schedule's coming around with the homeschooling, and the kids are happy. We're happy.
Well, and I get to announce that we are going to be soon to be grandparents. So
yes, like I said, Jesse has 2 kiddos, and one, Adam, is older, and he is more mature than us. And I am so freaking excited. But yeah, he's going to be a grandpa. I'm going to be a step grandma, granny.
You're going to be grandma.
And I am so excited. It's just going to be a good year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we're going to make this fish room come back around together as a team. So we're going to learn together. We're going to evolve together. We're going to talk about it together instead of holding it all in and just comparing ourselves to other people. We're just going to have fun with this hobby, enjoy it, because it's awfully rewarding. And like I said, I went through some ups and downs the last couple of years, but the hobby itself kept me sane, and I would come down here, and it just over time, day by day, I was like, you know what, this is why I like this, and this is what I want to share about it, and this is funny, and this was a failure, and this was a good idea, and I don't know what I was thinking, and we can just all grow together.
Well, just come along on the journey with us through our last little bit and our future journeys to come.
Yeah, and come see me at Aquashella.
On other episodes, we will go down the rabbit hole on every little different topic of probably mostly the don'ts that I have made, some don'ts that Carrie has made, even though most of the time she makes better decisions than I do. But I'm always willing to try something, figure something out, and then learn from it. And we'd love to share it with you.
Yes, and I'm really excited. Like I said, I'm back with the creator team on Aquashellas, and we've added the 4th show this year. So Jesse, he's going to probably go with me to the Chicago one because it's the closest one, and we are going to do some major shopping. So if you're around any of the cities that it comes through, make sure you come say hi to me because I need someone to talk to fish-wise. But if you want to support this podcast or the Science Gal Aquatics channel or any of the things that we're on, go to sciencegalaquatics.com and look at those plushies. I do have a few t-shirts left and fish room towels that are really great too. So
the towels, everybody loves the towels. Are awesome.
Yes. So I'm excited to show you each of the animals that I've created over the next few weeks as the episodes come out. So thank you for being here and dealing with our long delay, but we're back and hopefully everything we said today made sense. If not, we'll try again next week.
Catch us on the next episode. We can only get better.
Yeah. Thank you for being here and listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.